Let's bring in our panel, Lauren Wright, a political scientist at Princeton University, and Maura Gillespie, the former advisor to House Speaker John Boehner and the founder of Blues Track Strategies. Maura, thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to start with you here. This is the headline from Politico. Newsom team mulls immigrant support plan to counter Trump deportations. Part of that saying a draft of the plan obtained by Politico proposes the creation of an immigrant support network comprised of regional hubs to connect at-risk individuals, their families, and communications with community systems, such as legal services, schools, labor unions, local governments, etc. It's one of the Trump administration's on immigration as Democratic leaders struggle to find their footing on the pivotal election issue. So, Maura, this seems like it could be a winning strategy for California politically, but what about nationally?
Well, in California, it's becoming a little more purple. So I think that the Democrats, what that said right there is that they're still struggling on how to handle this very important issue that we saw on Election Day. Americans largely don't want to have criminals here that came in illegally. And we just saw, an illegal immigrant who snuck back into the country, set a woman on fire in the subways of New York City. These things are rightfully concerning, deplorable, and need to be handled and with a firm hand. We are the land of hope and opportunity for millions of immigrants to come here to seek a better life for their families, but to do so legally. We cannot be this land of hope and opportunity without law and order, and that's what the new administration is coming in saying. It's gone too far. Democrats have gone too far, and I think they realize that, and that's why they've lost this big election. So it's jarring, I think, to say the least, but I hope that it gets pushed back on by the people of California as well.
Lauren, if you look at what's going on in California here, do you expect that Governor Newsom is going to be doing this on other issues as well, to oppose the Trump administration and really become the Democratic standard bearer and try to set the tempo going into the next election cycle?
Yes, but it's very unwise for him. And I'm from California. I know what a survivor Gavin Newsom is. I can't even believe he's still in the post after the unpopular pandemic policies. But yes, he's trying to make a name for himself even more, take a stand against Trump, but it couldn't be more misdirected. I mean, this is a state that has a third of the nation's homeless veterans, 11,000 people. How about them? They deserve some assistance more than they're getting right now. The state's hemorrhaging a tax base. They're going to Texas, Arizona, Florida. And so I understand Newsom wants to become the anti-Trump Democrat seen as the leader of the party, but he is, exactly as Maura's saying, going against what voters chose when they put Trump in office in the first place.
Let's take a look at this other Axios headline here. Is a survey out that Democrats are more likely to reduce family time over politics. It's from the Public Religion Research Institute. It conducted the survey. Maura, what about this? Do you think that politics has now just become too national? It's, one press release after another. I identify with this team. I identify with that team.
I do. I think that we've let identity politics interfere with our relationships, with our better angels, really. I mean, we've let what we follow as a party define us. And I don't think that these blanket statements are necessarily helpful to us. As we are celebrating Christmas today, I think about humanity. And does this really serve our better purpose to be so divisive and to view somebody through the lens of, oh, well, if they're a Democrat or, oh, they're a Republican, I can't talk to them? That's not helpful to us as our dialogue as we move forward and try and come up with solutions to the very real problems we have in this country. We can't do so if we continue to silo ourselves or refuse to work with or even communicate with someone who has opposing views as us. I think back to what my former boss, John Boehner, would say. You can disagree without being disagreeable. And it feels like a very basic tenet that we have lost, but we really need to get back to. And especially as we're celebrating holidays, it's important that we stop with this identity politics and remember that at the end of the day, we all have similar goals. We just don't agree on how to get there.
Lauren, how do we walk back from this?
We just have to start talking to more people we disagree with. And that includes people you think are dead wrong and that have bad ideas and you want to change their minds. I see it firsthand at Princeton all the time with my students, and it's really a shame. I'm writing this book on intellectual diversity, and it really is mostly my liberal and progressive students that have separated themselves from all Trump voters, and they don't want to talk to other students who they think have dangerous and harmful ideas. Well, if you want to be a policymaker, if you want to work in government like Maura, you have to talk to people that you don't agree with in order to learn and intellectually develop and to get things done practically. It's the worst training for our young people, for them to separate themselves from each other. And of course, it's heartbreaking in the family setting too, but I see it in the academic setting.
Lauren Wright, Maura Gillespie, thanks so much for joining us, and Merry Christmas.